the things that I wanted to raise with you gentlemen around me here is how close we actually came to a potential all-out war with Iran. Iran, and obviously it's sort of been in the background of this Israel-Palestine conflict, and Iran escalating into a war in the Middle East and all of that blowing up would have made a serious escalation with everything around the world. Everything, absolutely. I mean, we sort of hear through back channels and through back funding, they're funding Palestine because it's sort of a proxy against Israel. But I've been seeing a lot of headlines coming out since the Trump attempted assassination. Trump's assassination attempt, live updates from NBC and a few other outlets saying that the US learned of an Iranian plot to kill Trump weeks before the shooting. Now, this is kind of like, weapons of mass destruction. And, there was a similar plot, even though there's zero links between the shooter and Iran, there's this almost like, all it could be like is like, intelligence agencies, 20 of them have testified that, there's links between this shooter, and that's all it took for basically America to invade Iraq. Now, that is a sort of thing where if Trump truly was shot and we saw a situation where the Republicans were basically leaderless, who are you left with? I mean, the only person that got any delegates, the most delegates, was Nikki Haley, who got something like almost 100 delegates. And, I mean, this is what Nikki Haley's like. She's too busy signing bombs. If we can pull this image up, she's too busy signing bombs in the Middle East, basically. And this is the problem I see, guys. You've got this establishment in the Republicans and the Democrats. It's like they want war. On the one hand, Nikki Haley says a strong president doesn't start wars, a strong president prevents wars, and also Nikki Haley signing the sides of these bombs, the shells about to go off. This is, I think, the concern of a lot of Five Eyes countries, people that don't actually like killings being done in their name. What did you guys think about this? Because to think about it, we were an inch away from this all-out war.
Before going into the war, that was one of the things I mentioned earlier, that Nikki Haley suddenly was going to the Republican conference as if she knew something was going to happen. And I go, this is one of those conspiracy. It's an idea. It's like, why did she suddenly change her mind? Did she know something was going to happen? Did she think there was going to be an opportunity for her to step in and become the nominee at the last second? So that kind of leads, I wouldn't say credence, but it kind of raises the question of, was this a manipulated situation? And again, regarding Iran, that would have been a very dangerous situation. We saw it escalate a little bit a while back when the US retaliated for one of their strikes and stuff. And it's a scary situation where we've got, potential nuclear war happening in Iran, and then also Russia, Ukraine. It's almost like they're pushing for it. And I don't think people understand just how terrifying that thought really is to the world.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, Iran is not yet a nuclear power. They're heading that way thanks to Biden and sort of recommencing billions of dollars of donations to Iran that Trump stopped, that I think Obama started up, but they're not actually nuclear weapon yet. And so it would have been, it would have been Iran who would have backed down. There's no way Iran would dare start a war right now with America.
Well, John, what do you think? If Trump was shot and we saw this week play out, Republicans running around like headless chickens, no clear leadership.
I believe in the event that Trump got shot, it would have been an unbelievable tragedy for America and the world. There would likely have been violence at the street level across America, and it would have been very ugly. That's the first point. The second point is, who would have ended up being the nominee? I believe it would have been Donald Trump Jr. Right. Simply because of the symbolism. And look, he's very political, Don Jr. And I think that they would have said, look, you're gonna shoot Donald Trump. Well, we've got a replacement for you. I think that's, now I know that Nikki might have come second in the primary, but as I said before, rules, schmools. They can just make them up. They can just change the rules when they feel like it.
Right.
So that's what would have happened in the event that that bullet had hit.
The longer I think about it, the more I'm just like, talk about I did talk about this in previous episodes where I said, look, we could see some sort of a war breakout, and martial law just simply declared an emergency. And then, I mean, what I was worried about is, I mean, the moment one person in the 70 million that voted for Trump does any kind of violence, if Trump was to be shot, it basically justifies them unleashing everything from the intelligence state, taking all of the guns. We need to accelerate these rules. We've got emergency laws, martial law declared. I mean, we would see just complete bedlam. What would have happened? And the reason we're talking about any of this, guys, is because we were truly an inch away from the Australian economy just being decimated.
1/10 of an inch. Just needed to hit his skull a little bit, and his skull would have blown up.
Yeah, I mean, this nearly happened, and it could. And let's be honest, this could happen again. And no, I don't think anyone here around this table was surprised that someone tried to assassinate Trump. Like, it was shocking, but it wasn't surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be living under a rock not to have expected something like this to have been attempted.
The only thing that was surprising was kind of how it happened, I think, rather than that it did happen.
Yeah.
And I will say, I noticed that Dana White, president of the UFC, is on making a speech. I have to make a comment.
I was about to
as
put
a
him
UFC veteran, I had to comment.
I'm actually about to click play, but I just wanted to say it was an interesting point by Tim Pool. He said, you know how they always say, October surprise this, October surprise that. He's like, what the hell could be an October surprise that outdoes any of the stuff we've seen this year? I mean, seriously. Anyway, I do want to play this for you guys. For those of you that are on X right now, we have reached 200. We've reached almost 1,000 concurrent viewers. Keep retweeting it. Trump is imminently about to hop on. I'm about to play a bit of Dana White's speech. He looks like he's just finished now, but I don't know how. It looks like it went for a while, but this is some of the comments that he had to say. Good old Dana. So he's known Trump well before he was president.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll bring up a comment about that.
I'm the CEO and president of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So 2 weeks ago, I got a call from President Trump asking me if I'd be willing to speak tonight. As usual, there was no pressure, no demands. He asked me as a friend, and of course I said yes. Then, after I accepted his offer, he sent me a text message, and I just want to read to you a little piece of what President Trump wrote to me. Dana, I'm so honored that you will be doing the introduction at the National Republican Convention. Think of it as the biggest fight you ever had, a fight for our country and even the world. I only wish you didn't have to interrupt your family trip, but I hope they understand they love you and they know how important this is.
That's epic. Isn't that epic, Elvis?
Yeah.
Now think about this. This man's running for president of the United States. He's fighting